Now, journalists in Somalia are mourning today following the killing of a colleague last night. Ali Ahmed Abdi was gunned down in Mogadishu. He'd reported a lot on events in the Galkayo region in the country. So why are those who work for the press ready targets? Well, my guest this morning is here to talk about these issues and more, because I'm joined by freelance Somali journalist Saeed Ahmed Abdul Wahid, who works for the online website Dirad, among others. Good morning, Saeed Ahmed. Now, what's your reaction to the killing of Ali Ahmed Abdi?
It's very sad for the journalists working in Somalia, particularly, young journalists who have a light, hopeful in their future, and who have vision to, become real journalists. He was very young, and it's very sad, actually.
Is it known why, what issues he'd been writing on that caused... that made him a target?
The problem Somalia, as you know, there are different factions who, working on, on different, fighting on each other, and sometimes you report something which the other guys don't like it, and you will be the victim of that report. And this is what's happening in Somalia, actually. Is
it known, or is there speculation as to who may have killed, or has anybody even claimed responsibility?
As far as I know, in my recent contact in Mogadishu today, last night, Al-Shabaab has, some affiliate of Al-Shabaab has declared that they've been behind of this killing, and we have no clear, message or a statement from Al-Shabaab, the top Al-Shabaab spokesman.
And yet Ali Ahmed Abdi wasn't the first journalist. I mean, so far, isn't it he now the third journalist in a matter of months, in the same amount of months that's been gunned down? It must make journalists such as yourself very, very worried for your own safety.
Of course, the journalists, sometimes you will be called to, the Islamists or the other guys from the TFG or Galmudug or Puntland to make some sort of statement. And when you have done that, interview, sometimes it's set up that to kill you, and they will tell you to come this part of particular place, and you go there, and you will be, killed for...
So you mean sometimes journalists are deliberately lured to a particular area?
It happens, yes. It happens many times in we remember Horn of Africa in Mogadishu. It happens, a lot of journalists that was being killed because of that. They've been called like pretending that they been giving a statement from different groups. Most of this is linked to the Islamists.
Saeed, I have to then ask you, have you ever, in a word, felt so fearful for your future that you felt, look, this is a profession I now have to withdraw from?
Not with me in particular, but I know a lot of people who've been worried, and I know a lot of journalists who ran away from Somalia, and they live in exile. And you could see if you go to Nairobi or South Africa or wherever, you're going to see a lot of journalists who ran away from there.
Saeed Ahmed, thanks for joining us for now. And if you have a question you'd like to pose to Saeed, please do so via our text number 447786 20 50 85. Still to come here on BBC Network Africa, what issues are Libyans keen to thrash out following the address by the nation's Prime Minister yesterday? And our wise words come this morning from Cirilio Mohinigamu.
Mandefo nani you got the summer wayo why bogoma.
Khaled by Senegalese musician Laiso, and he doesn't yet have a publisher for his album, but it is called Kuni, and as soon as it's out, available in the shops, we'll tell you about it. And a few texts here. Bola, I'm a Kenyan Somali journalist working with humanitarian agency. It's scary to work in Somalia and dangerous for journalists, says Bash, who's in Mogadishu. And Ali Ahmed says, Ali Ahmed was one of my best journalist, says Khalid Walid, who's in Arua, Uganda. Khalid says, his killing is a big blow to us because he inspired me a lot and I can't control my emotions. Said, perhaps you can help me. What does he say? He's got us a message also in Arabic at the bottom there. What's he saying?
He says, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, which means if something bad happens, you say, you go back to God and say Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. So it's a big disaster.
Imploring on God.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's a question here for you, Said. What's the most exciting part of your work? Abdul Musema in Arua, Uganda asks.
The way of work that experiencing in Somalia as a journalist, it's undescribable, especially when you see now the life is coming back in Mogadishu, for example, and when you're witnessing that sort of life, and you have your background of the last few months or years was killing and dying, and now you're going to see in Mogadishu life is coming back and diaspora is coming back. That's exciting,
We're going to talk about a very important aspect of that which might be happening even as we speak, and that's Turkish Airlines planning flights to Somalia. In a few minutes indeed, later this morning. So Said, for now, thank you very much indeed. The time is 10 minutes to the top of the hour this Tuesday morning. Very much, and I'm afraid that's all we have time for, but thank you very much for joining us from Pretoria, Isaka Sware, researcher from the Institute for Security Studies, and we apologize for the quality of that line. Said Ahmed Abdul Wahid, a journalist with Dirada online newspaper, the website. Is Libya a country, the uprisings, is that something that you wrote on?
Yes, we did actually, and we was expected that the Somali, should do similar, Middle East, what's happening.
Oh, you thought you'd have your Somali spring?
We expected actually, and particularly when the Prime Minister Farmajo was being rejected to stay, in his position. There was a lot of people in Mogadishu who was being rallying, for him and against Kampala Accord, but. Unfortunately, Somalis, are divided, and that's the biggest problem. And we don't have something which we unite at the moment.
Many people this morning are interested in talking to you. Hopefully, we'll have time in the next edition to pose some of their questions. But I'll just read a few to you. I'm afraid we're losing such important journalists. May his soul rest in peace, says Musa in Arua, Uganda, with regards to Mr. Abdi, who died on Sunday. And somebody asked, Said, do you think your country will have sustainable peace if minor clans like the Bantus are excluded in any decisions made in Somalia, including drafting a new constitution? Asked Mamadou Aliou Jallo, who's in Freetown, Sierra Leone. You have about 30 seconds to
Hopefully we will have a better future and understandable. And also, the major clans that so-called 4 major clans and the other rest of the, like he says, Bantus or Hamar, or we have so many
other ethnic
groups, which is very, populationally, its numbers are very high,
sizable,
comparing a lot of clans. But we hope that we will have a better future.
Said Ahmed Abdul Wahid, thank you very much for joining us. And Said will be back with me in half an hour's time, so do get your questions ready and I'll pose them to him in the next edition.